Well, hello there. Please let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Hope you can, because we'll talk about why. I hope, bro. Um, I'll wait. I'll wait until I can see confirmation. Everyone's saying hello to somebody named Sam. Cool. Hi, Sam. Still waiting. Just we can hear you. Good. All right. Thank you, Ethan Oliver, for that. Amazing. I had to turn my mic way down because my neighbor, who I have not heard since we moved into this apartment, is having a party today. And it started 10 minutes ago because, of course, folks, welcome, everybody. Welcome to a Devstream. It's been a little while. My name is James Penca, the creative director of Titanic, Honor and Glory. As always, it is an honor to be here, honor and glory, to be here with you. First, I have a bone to pick with Alexandru, who I think I saw said that a stream starting on time for once. I would just like to say, I'm pretty sure it's been like 4 or 5 streams since I've done a stream that started late. I've been pretty good about getting it on time. So I am reading comments from YouTube because we're not streaming to Twitch today. We're just doing YouTube. So hello, YouTube. It's been a little while since we've done a dev stream with me. If you've been watching our dev streams with Matt, as he's been working on the game and answering your questions, we're calling this dev stream 15 because we've done 15 of them. I have not been in one since 9, so thank you, Matt, for taking over and doing a handful of great streams that I tuned into some of them. But this is our 15th, we think. It's hard to remember. I should have just counted. I think it's 15, but it's my 10th dev stream. And when you think of a dev stream, I assume you think of the kind where I'm sitting here and giving you updates and showing you stuff. So this is the 10th of those. As you can see, I'm in a new space. The party next door is bumping. I'm sure you heard that. They're pretty loud. If you speak Spanish, you will be able to tell me what's going on over there. So I'm in a new place. My beautiful Titanic model is not behind me. In fact, it's not even in this apartment, sadly. It is back in Pennsylvania, where I've been streaming from since we started all this. Now I am in New York City. And because I am in New York City, these are the things you should expect to hear on this stream. A party going on next door. My dog, who's sitting at my feet, lightly growling at the party going on next door. And we live next to a school and a park. So there's a Mr. Softy ice cream that parks on the corner and just plays that ice cream song over and over and over again. Not the good one, not The Entertainer by Joplin, but the other one. It's as if there isn't even a wall. So I hope you can't hear it too much. Although I think they're going out the door, which might be good for us. Okay. So folks, welcome. It's Devstream number 10 for me, number 15 in general. We have a lot. We're in New York. I'm in Washington Heights. That's where I live these days. Just moved in, although as you can see, we've gotten a lot done. It looks quite nice. It actually looks like we live here now. But we have so much to talk about. We have so much to go through because it has been a while since we've done one of these. We'll talk about why. We'll talk about why it's been a little while. We'll talk about what's going on and what you guys should expect moving forward from me in particular. But first things first, I just want to say that it is and as always, I guess ask your questions. I assume we have members of the team watching the stream. Maybe they can, I don't know, keep an eye on it. But I have your questions here. I'll try and answer them as they come in, and maybe at the end we'll do a Q&A. As always, I believe super chats are on. So if you have something that you want to show on the screen, just let me know or put it in there, and I'll pop it up on the screen here. I'm going to mention Pier 54, as in which is now called the Island. If you've been to New York, I still haven't been to visit the park that they built on the site of the old Cunard doc. We have our first super chat. Here we go. Have you guys ever thought about releasing a strictly Titanic sinking game, sort of like Britannic? Sure, I suppose. But if you're going to have a sinking game, you might as well have a version of it not sinking, because the sinking is the harder part, So in the same way that Britannic is not just a sinking Britannic, it is a sailing Britannic as well. But thank you for the super chat, 5 USD. So Matt says he shan't answer anything. So Matt's taking the day off, but I'll be happy to answer questions. If your question goes by and I don't see it, because there's a lot of you, just hold on to it and we'll talk at the end. Okay, so let's get into it. Here, yeah, we're not gonna, Alexandru, I know you're you hate the repeated questions, so I'm not gonna answer any questions that are easily found elsewhere, though we still don't have a FAQ on our website. So when we do, maybe I can start making fun of people who ask the same questions. Okay, let's do it. So welcome. We have a lot to talk about. First things first. What was my first? Oh yes, first things first. It's October. It's a big month for THG for two reasons. One, okay, we got a super chat. Hold on, everything pauses. For 20 USD from GamerX54 Labs alt channel. I'm absolutely impressed with the amount of detail and realism that the THG team has been putting in. I'm honored to be a patron of this amazing project. The Grand Staircase really blew my mind. Thank you so much, GamerX. Blah, 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 blah. That's great. So yes, so it's October, which means we are in Q4. Dun, dun, dun. So we are in the era of the year, the season of the year that we originally announced is going to be when we release the first bit of the alpha. So we are in Q4. It's very exciting for us to be sort of in that mode of everybody's working super hard. Everyone's trying to meet deadlines and get things going. Matt, I'm not putting that on screen. So we're really excited, and we hope you guys are excited to be in this, my favorite month, or my favorite season, fall. October is my favorite month of the year. So we really hope to, oh, here we go. I should learn what AUD is and all these things. I want to say Australia. I don't know. Just wondering, once THG is completed, will POTM be updated to have full explore mode? We've been talking about what we're going to do with Britannic. Of course, there's when THG is completed, who knows what world we'll be living in. But we hope to be doing something with Britannic. We don't want it to just like collect dust. But for now, if anything is going to be done with it, it would have to be someone else, aka Levi, who is the great programmer who put that game together with us. It would have to be somebody off our team, because we want to focus on Titanic. Okay, great. It's Australian. I was right. So anyway, it's October, so it's Q4. So welcome everybody to Q4. The other cool thing about October, how do I send super chats? JK, there we go. Thank you very much, Zoibe Delobsta. So it is, it's October, which means 1 year ago. Hold on. Oh wait, no, I'm fine. Also, my camera may turn off at total random, because that's the world I'm living in. So 1 year ago, you all may recall that THG was very quiet, very silent. No progress was being shown. Progress was being made, but none of it was being shown. We were kind of in a limbo of what was going on with the project, and all of you guys were very curious what the hell is going on with the project. And it was October of last year that we all kind of started talking and decided that some major changes needed to be made, and we weren't sure if our fan base was going to like those changes. And we spent from October till April, so 6 months, we spent sort of turning the ship. As Kyle always says, it was such a big ship that it does take a little while to turn. So it took those 6 months sort of redesign the project, figure out what we were going to do with it, and sort of tone it down a little bit so we could actually give you something one day. And in April, we announced the new direction, and that was 6 months ago, 6 months and 6 days, I think. So here we are, 1 year since the new direction was sort of started. And it's just been a crazy, crazy year. It's been a roller coaster for us. I'm sure it has been for you. Obviously, we're all going through a lot still with the COVID of it all, especially back in a year ago. It was still in full force. So it's been a crazy year, and I just want to say to all of you guys as well, but particularly to the team at THG, anybody on the team who's watching, I just personally want to thank every person who has been working on the game, even people who just joined, because our team grows more every day, it seems. But every single person on this team has spent the last year working their tails off. And I couldn't be more grateful for all that work that they're doing, because we're all trying super hard to make something really special for all of you. And of course, we appreciate our fans who stuck with us through the silence, through the years, and through this last year of actual getting progress from us and whatnot. But just the team is working so hard, and we have so much work yet to do. But I just wanted to sort of commemorate this last year of taking this wonderful project and flipping it upside down in the hopes that we can bring you a project soon. So soon, trademark. Super chat, $20. Fund history recreation. Absolutely. That is what we are trying to do. Thank you very much, Giorgio. So with that being said, we have had the last 3 months where I have not done a stream, or 2 months or so. My last stream was July 30th. So somebody in the comments said we haven't had an update stream for a year, and that is obviously not true. We've done about 15 streams where we've updated you, 10 specifically meant for just updating you. So if you haven't seen those streams, go check out our YouTube channel. But it's been since July 30th since we've done an update. We did a Q&A back in July. It was right before my life changed quite a bit. So just to let you guys know where I've been, in case you didn't know, if you haven't been a part of things, if you're new, well, welcome, by the way. If this is your first stream, welcome. We're so excited to have you. We did that last stream in July, and I announced to everybody that I was going to take a couple weeks off. We did a stream every other week for 18 weeks, I guess. We did 9 of them, and there were every other week we did a stream, and I announced that we were going to take some time off because in the last 2 months I got married, I went on my honeymoon, I moved back to New York City, and I got a job, and moved in and all that stuff. So it has been a wild 2 months for me. And during that, we've still been working on the game. So, the only time I think I did not work on the game was on my honeymoon because I wasn't allowed, which was good. I definitely shouldn't. So first stream. Oh, I'm going to put this on the screen. Here we go. Samantha, first stream and also new patron. Thank you. Great. That's good to hear. So it's just been a crazy time. That's why I haven't been doing streams. But that said, moving forward, you should not expect us to go back to that 2 days a week thing, or a stream every 2 weeks thing. There was at one point I was doing a stream every single week. I was doing I played Adventure Out of Time for 2 weeks in between. But the reason being, our team over the last 2 months, even the last month, have gone through quite a lot of changes. Changes that are, a bummer in some ways. For 2 glorious months back in June, I think it was June and July, or it's around June, there were 2 glorious months where we had a few paid employees on our team. we've always been volunteers. Everybody's always been volunteers, but for 2 months, I think like 4 of us there's like our core team is, I don't know how big our core team is anymore. It's like 10-ish, maybe up to 20 people. Like 4 or 5 of us were being paid, myself included. We got like little salaries to like help us, get by so we could focus on the game. And that lasted for about 2 months. And then we looked at our budget and it just wasn't quite working. So we decided to pull back. Thank you, Jake, for the super chat. And so as we've progressed through the months and switched around our budget, trying to figure out what's the best way to make this all work, we have decided to all go back to being volunteers again. It just wasn't feasible, sadly. And again, those months were great, but it is best for the project if this returns to just a volunteer thing, until perhaps we release the alpha and maybe our Patreon grows and our budget grows, and we can think about doing that again. And then the snowball effect would just continue, because then we could focus on the game more, release more of the alpha, the budget grows, we do more, hire more people, all that stuff. So it's been a interesting last 2 months, because we've gone back to working on the game from a fully volunteer basis. Every single person on this team is volunteering. Every single person on this team either has a job or school that they do during the day or night. I personally have, I have one job as of today. I start another job tomorrow. So I will have 2 jobs and then also working on this game. So it's another big reason why there hasn't been as many streams, because if I have X amount of hours a day to work on THG, I'm not going to be planning a stream. I'm going to be writing log entries. I'm going to be working on the game, because I think that's what you guys would want. So we apologize. There's been less streams lately, but everybody on the team is working super long hours to meet our deadlines to get this game out by Q4. And when I say long hours, I mean there have been people on this team not sleeping, just because we're trying so hard to get models into other people's hands and this into this person's hands. This we're a team trying to all work together, and everybody's waiting on each other for this and that. So a lot has happened, a lot has changed, but the big thing is that we are volunteers again. And a big reason I wanted to explain that is every day we get emails, and a lot of days we get comments on Facebook and comments elsewhere about how long the game is taking, about how it's a scam, about I think we were called careless the other day. And it's not a big deal. I know that those people are very few and far between. And as we all know about the internet, negative thoughts, like negative people, that they tend to be the loudest on the internet. It's just I just want everyone to know that, as always, at least for the last year, the time you spend waiting for this game to be released is never, ever due to lack of trying or lack of effort, or certainly not for scamming purposes, because again, we don't make any money off of this. It is always just due to lack of time or manpower, or and things come up. We're such a small team that if something happens, like if we have trouble with a volunteer, or we have like a legal issue because we have lots of contracts with lots of people. If something happens, or like we have issues with the store, something's wrong with this, we kind of all have to focus on it. There will be a time where something will come up, something super serious that we all need to focus on, and we'll spend a whole meeting. We have like usually 2 to 3 meetings a week, and we spend a whole meeting talking about this one thing, because we need to take care of this. And then by the time it's taken care of, all this time has gone by, and I wasn't able to even write a single thing that week or whatever. So it's just a very complicated process. And I just want you all to know that it is never due to lack of trying. It is always due to a million other things out of our control. But despite that, late hours, lots of hours being put into this game. And we're going to talk, and I'm going to show you some stuff that we've been working on, which is great. The second half of this stream is just going to be positive updates, which is great. The first half, this part of it is the sad part where I tell you that we're all volunteers again, and we're all working on this in our off time. And as the days go by, sometimes we feel like we have less and less off time than we ever thought we would. But we are I don't know how we're doing it, but these guys and girls on this team are just, they're just so dedicated, and they're still making great stuff despite all the things we're up against. So we will keep pushing. And when you see the things that I have to show you, oh, Luke posted some stuff. Oh, cool. Okay. Thank you, Derek. Everybody was sending me images to show like what they're working on, and I have some really, really cool stuff to show. I will have to check on that. Let me just pull it up real quick. Oh boy. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh man. Okay. I got to show you guys this. Hold on. Okay. Let me just talk amongst yourself for a second. I have to save some images and add it to my streaming platform so I can show you these later in the stream. But thank you, Luke, for sending me these, because I really wanted to show these off. And sadly, we couldn't, because we just sort of ran out of time, but looks like we didn't run out of time. Luke blames time zones on this. Okay. Oh, these look great, Luke. Thank you. This is the best part of developing this game, you guys, is when these brilliant people send me images and I get to, where am I? I get to show them to you. Okay. So, pardon me. Let me just upload these to this and we will be good to go. Oh, I can't wait to get to the next part of the stream. You guys, these images, I have, let's see, I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. I've got like 60 images to show you. So hold on to your hats. Speaking of all of this, okay, and we are all uploaded. Great. All set. Okay, back to this. Speaking of getting updates from us and all that, I do have something super important to tell you all. Just remind you all, I suppose. If you feel as though we have been silent or not transparent over the last few months, even without my streams, which it sucks that I haven't been able to stream. If you feel like we've been silent or transparent, because we do get that comment a lot that like, uh-oh, THG, where'd the transparency go that you guys promised? And I'm not sure if you either don't understand what we meant by transparency, or the more likely option, which is you don't actually follow the game. The transparency from our project has never stopped, and it has never been higher than it has been for this last year, well, last 6 months since we started the new thing. Because while we haven't been streaming, if I had to blame it on one thing, I think there are people, there's a large set of our fan base that only watches short YouTube videos that we post, which we don't do very often lately, to be honest. And that's on me, I suppose. It's hard to put together small videos when we're trying to focus on the game. I'm not going to spend 4 hours. If I have 4 hours in the day to work on THG, I'm going to spend it researching, not making a video. But just so you are aware, if you are only watching short YouTube videos, like this one, perhaps I might put this on YouTube. I'll cut it small for you. Or if you are only on Facebook, if particularly like the guarantee group, if that is your main way of getting information from us, then it would feel like we are pretty silent, because we have so many other ways that we communicate with our fans that are way better than Facebook and short YouTube videos. Obviously, if you're watching this stream right now, this is the best way to get information from us, but not a lot of people have time to tune in or aren't free right now. So, okay, we'll watch it on YouTube, but people say, oh, I don't watch long videos on YouTube. Okay. We also have a Discord. Our Discord is awesome. If you are on our, I don't know what that is. If you are on our, if you are not on our Discord, you really should be. If you don't know what Discord is, it's just a great forum for us to, for our fans to interact and for us to interact with you guys. But and Matt just put this in the chat. You can follow us on our Patreon, of course. But our Discord has all these small discussions. There's like 60 of them, 100. I don't know how many there are now. But if you want to talk about the modeling in the game, there's a discussion for that. If you want to talk about modeling in real life, there's like like the trumpeter or the Lego model, there's a discussion for that. If you want to talk about your theories about when the game comes out, there's a discussion for that. If you want to suggest something to me about an idea you have, there's a discussion for that. There's so many discussions going on right now, and I check that thing every day. And every single one of our developers, the entire team, is on that Discord. So you can interact with everybody, and you can tag me in something. In fact, if you want me to see something, if you tag me in it, I will see it. And I usually respond to it if there's a response necessary. And I'm on Reddit. I respond to everyone personally on Reddit. Here's our Discord link right here. Thank you, Derek, for posting that. We post constantly on our Discord. And if you are a backer, if you are from the guarantee group and you're a backer, and you spent money to be in that guarantee group, there are private Discord channels, whatever they're called, just for you to talk with other backers, and we post in there. And then if you're on our Patreon, there's a private Patreon group in there. So there we go. Knew that was going to happen. Wait for it, please. Thank you. So it's just such a better thing. You don't have to pay to be a part of it. You just sign up for it. Facebook is not a good place to interact with you guys. Your posts and your comments get lost pretty quickly. I don't see everything. Even if you tag us, I don't really see it. I'm not even on Facebook. I only go through Facebook through our public or our profile. So please join our Discord. It's awesome. It's so cool. We post images. Some of these images that I'm going to show today, the Patreons have already seen in our Discord. At least, go to Reddit and look through the Reddit. There's not as much on there, but I answer everybody on Reddit for the most part. So please join us there. I apologize to the guarantee group. That was our main way of sending exclusive content to our fans who backed us. But that was a perk from a crowdfunding campaign years and years ago. And we tried to keep up with it as much as we could, but Discord is just so much better. Reddit is better. There's so many other ways to tell you the exclusive stuff that we have. And so sadly, Facebook is a terrible thing in general. I'm just super against Facebook. Hence why I left years ago. But yeah, there's just a better way for us to communicate with you. So please join us elsewhere. And we'd love to be in more contact with you, because the transparency has not stopped. It's been constant. I literally answer. If you email our contact email right now, I'm the one answering that. So you can contact me and ask me anything. Please don't just ask me anything though. Please only ask me serious things. So yeah, please interact with us. We love talking with you guys and telling you about the game. We probably tell you too much about the game, but yes, if all you're doing is getting information from us through Facebook and watching short YouTube videos, yeah, you probably think nothing is going on. But yeah, that's it. Join us on Discord and Patreon. Patreon's a really great way to do it, because you get all the exclusive stuff ahead of time. And in fact, after this stream, I'm going to do a private Patreon stream through our Discord. So I'm just going to give you guys a bit more information about some topics. So yeah, join our Patreon and you get private little things. All right, enough about that. I think that's it. Okay, anniversary. I've been gone. everybody has day jobs. It's important that you know that because it's not because of that. Great. So we have our first update to give you, and then it's only positivity from then on out. So I'm going to take this down. I'm going to put me back up just in case you forgot. So our first announcement that I have to make, which may be bad news, I suppose, that depends on how you look at it. We have promised in the past that we would release the first update in Q4 and then monthly updates to follow. We would slowly add the ship every single month. And we have decided to make a slight alteration to that due to the fact that we're all volunteers again. I have 2 jobs. There are other people who have 2 jobs, or they have jobs and they have school. We're doing our best to get this out, and we want to focus on this first update so much to get it out that we have decided that the initial update will not be followed by an update a month later, and then a month later, and a month later. What we are going to do is we're going to get this first update out as promised, really focus on it, make it good, see what you guys think, see what the bugs are, fix the bugs. You may have complaints about this and that. We'll fix that up. We'll fix this. Make sure that we have a solid foundation with that first update. And that would be, by the way, for everybody getting the forecastle deck and patrons getting the forecastle deck and the forward well deck. Really make sure that is solid before we start updating it. We're afraid if we release it and then there's pressure to move right into the next update, that we'll start updating it and there will be problems that we're not addressing. So that is a slight change to our plan. And then once we feel like we have a solid foundation, then we'll start working on that monthly thing and trying to work our way up to maybe monthly updates. But that's the only big change that I have to announce today. So yes, but this is all being done so we can focus on this first update. Speaking of, let's get to the positive updates, shall we? So we have a couple new additions to talk about. 4 new people. We have a lot of new people on the team. We have lots of new researchers and modelers and volunteers. And in fact, there's an entire group of people. We're not going to talk about it right now because we are not able to, but there is progress being made outside of the forecastle and the forward well deck. I will tell you the area that they're working on, but it is the pantry. The B deck pantry and galley is being made by members of the team we are working with them on it. So it is not the forecastle deck and the forward well deck are not the only things being built right now. We will talk more about who is joining us for that at a later date. But so all this to say, we have lots of new volunteers, lots of new researchers. Everyone's a volunteer, but lots of people on the team. There are 4 people I just would like to announce on this stream and welcome them onto the team because they fall under my department, and they have been a major help to me over the last few weeks and months. Matt is clarifying. Oh yeah, if this, I guess I could explain real quick. The galley and the pantry is for the restaurant, the a la carte restaurant, and the Cafe Parisian on B deck. Really interesting space. What's really cool about the galley and pantry, I was just thinking about today, when it is finished and it is added to the alpha in the future, it would be, I believe, the first brand new space to be a part of this project, because a lot of B deck you guys have seen in demos. A lot of it is in mega demo, which we've shared images from, and of course the forecastle and the forward well deck are in some form in Britannic. So the galley and the pantry is something that has just never been seen from us. So we're really excited for people to see something brand new, nothing that's being reworked. This is a brand new space. Very, very exciting. So anyway, so these 4 people, they have been helping me out a lot this last few weeks. we are excited to welcome them to the team. And I'm going to show some, I'm going to show one of their work in a bit when we get to the images. So first of all, there's this lovely, very, very talented artist named Taylor Parish. She does sketches and what's it called? Storyboarding, storyboards like for TV shows and stuff like that. She's a massive Titanic fan. And she reached out and just wanted to help. And I had the exact job for her. As you guys know, if you've been following the project, the game is going to consist of these log entries. And on each page is going to be a sketch of the thing you're looking at. I'm going to show you some of those sketches, and we're going to show you them in a log entry. But she is amazing, and she made these super fast, and they're exactly what I wanted. So I'm excited to show you those. But welcome, Taylor. James Grimm. James is a voiceover actor who will be the voice of the log entries. He is actually from the Belfast area. He has the accent, which is something I really wanted. I really wanted, like, at least for this voice, to be as authentic as possible. And not only is he from the area, but his grandfather or great grandfather, I forget, his family tree worked at Harlan and Wolff, and just mathematically, the odds are very good that his grandfather, great grandfather, worked on Titanic, which is wild. And his voice that he is lending us is the log entry book, the log entries, which the way that I've directed him to deliver the lines is as if he is a member of Harlan and Wolff's workforce, telling you about the object. So it's just very cool that a descendant of a Harlan and Wolff worker whose hands built Titanic is going to be a part of this game. So we're really excited to have James Grimm, not to be confused with me. Another person joining the team is Katie Thayer. There's that last name that you may know. Not related to Thayer, but Katie Thayer is like a lot of us, an amateur historian, but she's also a talented actress and voiceover actress. And she is providing a voice for one of the entries in the initial release of the alpha. She just sent it to me, and it sounds great. But Katie's also going to help out research-wise with me. Her specialty is the stories of the passengers and crew. We have so many people on our team that do that, but a lot of our focus right now is on the ship and the construction of it. And so she's got the brain that knows all the stories. She actually works at the Orlando Titanic exhibit, which is cool. And then lastly, Bobby Cole. He is joining us to do sound effects. And we've been talking a lot about what we want. I mean, from when you move the menu down, what kind of sound is that? Walk footsteps while you're walking on deck versus walking down the stairs, like all those little things. What does what does Harlan Wolff sound like when you're exploring Titanic during the day versus exploring Titanic at night? Obviously it'd be much quieter, but maybe there's some workers, getting some late night hours in. I don't know. Probably not, because I think they closed, and I don't think that was normal for you just to like hang out and keep working, especially at night. Harlan and Wolff probably didn't want to pay the electricity. So, but yeah, very cool to have Bobby joining us for that. So those four people, they're sort of under my little mini creative department, and I'm very excited to have them on. And in the future, we will highlight some more people who've joined the team, both as researchers, as modelers, and of course the group making the galleon pantries. So welcome to all of them. And one more thing to add in terms of someone joining the team, so to speak. Michael Brady of Ocean Liner Designs. He has an unbelievable YouTube channel that you need to watch. He's got a great, every video that I've watched of his has been spectacular. He makes these wonderful side profiles of the Olympic class and ships of the era. And we are now selling a bunch of them on our store. I'll just show you some of his stuff. Here is, let me get rid of me real quick. No, I can't get rid of me. Sorry, I'm just going to be here. This is the Olympic, of course. I apologize if it's blurry. Obviously, these are pristine in person, but these are large posters of these ships, these beautiful side profiles. And here is, of course, Titanic. And something cool about these that I love is right here, right down there, you can see 3 flags flying between the first funnel and the foremast. Those are signal halyards. Those are ways that ships could communicate with each other. And if you know your flag alphabet, that says THG. So they're special THG prints of Michael's amazing work. Spot the differences quick. Lots of differences here. Cool. So those are on our store. If you'd like to pick one up, they're awesome. And Michael has joined our Discord as well, our private team Discord, and he's great to have around. So we have reached a point in the stream where I think I'm going to start showing you guys images. Let me just check and make sure that I'm not missing anything from you guys, from the chat. Okay, what are the updates? That's what the whole stream is about. So just watch, I guess. Okay. Now we're at the actual update part. So the first part of this stream was just to give you guys an update on the team, where we stand as a group, the whole volunteer things, and where the project stands. We're still pushing for that Q4 first release, and then the only big change to that is that if we release 1 month, the following month, we're not going to have anything. We're going to focus on that first release, make sure it's good. So there's no engine room, Thomas Andrews. There's no engine room. Engine room is something that will likely be way far down the line. We're dealing with B deck right now. And you can assume we're either going to go up or down. So hold off on the engine room for a little bit. Okay. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Same with the only backgrounds. Just maybe. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't. Sorry, Luke. I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna show. Well, whatever. Okay. So, are you guys ready to see 60 or so images from this game that we are currently making? And while I show them to you, while you look at these images, I will also sort of update you on where they're coming from and what we're doing with them. So let me make me smaller so you don't see me. And I'm going to put up the most important thing ever: work in progress. Nothing that you are about to see is finished at all. So don't go crazy here. All right, here we go. So we're going to start with some of Taylor Parish's artwork, sort of high def versions of them, or up close versions of them, and then we'll jump into log entries showing them in the actual thing. So this is the sort of stuff that she's been working on. So this is a sketch that will appear in the logbook, accompanied by or in the logbook entry for the reserve anchor, that big center anchor on the forecastle deck. And just to show you another one, this will be the anchor chain, the anchor cable entry. As you can see, her work is just absolutely perfect. It's the perfect amount of sketch versus, I wanted them to be sketches. I wanted them to look like this is like you're holding Thomas Andrews' notebook, and these are just things that he's jotted down for future reference. But they are just the perfect balance between sketch and actual realism. And I love them very much. So let's show you them in a log entry. This is what Luke just sent me. So I'm actually kind of looking at these for the first time right now as well. So here, no, not that one. Sorry. Forget that one. That one's an old one. I actually think I downloaded the wrong one, but this one. So this is, this is let me, I don't want to get rid of work in progress. So you're just going to have to deal with it. So this is what the log entries are going to look like. So a lot of work has gone into these. Between me, Luke, Derek, and Taylor, of course. Taylor's got the artwork. Luke does all the design of the pages, and he created this font based on, if you recognize them, the font is based on the spec books, the specification books that Harlan and Wolff wrote. Of all of the specifications of Titanic, Olympic, and Britannic. So this font is awesome, and I want to put this font on everything. So you can see, these are subject to change, I suppose, but they're pretty much ready to go. You can see on the left is the reserve anchor log entry. So this is something you would go up to the reserve anchor, interact with it, and the book would pop out to show you the information behind it. You have in the top left corner, the area you're in, the forecastle deck. It is a physical entry on the right there. We have the beautiful sketch by Taylor. And then you have the information of that object, the manufacturer, the materials, the dimensions, and I believe it's type down at the bottom there. Sorry, it's covered up. Now on the right of the type there, you'll see two symbols. One of them looks like a play button. If you click on that, the voiceover for the reserve anchor, narrated by James Grimm, will play. It will play automatically the first time you open it, but let's say you're looking through again and you want to hear it again, that is what you would click on. And then there's an exclamation point. That is the source button, I guess you could call it. And clicking on that button will show you the sources of this entry, where this information is from, what document we got this information from. So that we got it from a reputable source. We're trying to use pretty much exclusively Harland and Wolff documents whenever we can. Okay, great. And now if you look at the right entry, anchor cable, again, that amazing drawing by Taylor. Love that one. Manufacturer, the materials, the dimensions, and the type. And actually, I'm seeing the manufacturer of the reserve anchor. There's a little bit of the manufacturer is a little screwy because it's actually longer than that. So we got to fix that, but no big deal. The anchor cable is made exclusively by Noah Hingling and Sons, while the manufacturer of the reserve anchor was made by multiple companies. That's why it got cut off, though. But yeah, so those are those. Now the background, everybody, just so you know, that background, you've seen it before. That is an old image of a forecastle deck. This is just like conceptual. That is not what it looks like. And then those amazing controls in the bottom right corner, designed by Luke. So you know how to do those things. Now, let me just see. I think I downloaded the wrong one. How did that happen? I guess it doesn't matter. They're the same. Okay, cool. We're good. So that is our first little thing to show off. Very exciting. Very cool. The log entries are coming along, and the next step will be seeing them, in engine. We can see what it looks like to walk up to the reserve anchor, click it, book opens, voiceover plays. James just sent me the voiceovers yesterday, and they sound great. So very excited about that. And of course, as you may recall, there are multiple types of log entries. Those were just two of the physical entries. There's also visual entries, spatial entries, and testimonial entries. So more and more on that, but let's get into the actual forecastle deck. Well, first, let's do this. This will be fun. So we, as you guys may know, I'm just checking Discord because I'm getting little bleeps and want to make sure I'm not forgetting something. And someone's like, James, let me check the chat, make sure everybody's on board. All right, cool. No super chats that I'm missing. Great. So other things. So as you guys know, we are doing, I think I need to turn this off. This is killing me. All right. So it's still beeping. I hope you guys can't hear that. How do I turn that off? I need to turn that off. There's got to be like a settings or something. I'm not great with this stuff. User settings. When I upload the voice and video, notifications, stop. I'm turning them all off. Hopefully that worked. No, it didn't. All right. If you are messaging me on Discord, just stop doing that. Oh my God, guys, I'm sorry. Let's take a little commercial break. Go grab a drink of water. I am going to be right back. Okay, I hope that worked. I hope you can still hear me. Great. Oh, thank you, Derek. I think I fixed it. As long as you guys can still hear me, I fixed it. To answer a question that I do see, there won't be any passengers, so no voices. There will be voices. The testimonial entries are passengers' voices. So Katie Thayer will be voicing a passenger who has a lovely testimonial about the forecastle deck, about the bow. It's not, she doesn't say forecastle deck, but she is talking about the bow, which is really cool. So points to whoever can tell me what passenger she is going to be voicing. Yeah, forecastle. I see the debate going on about forecastle. It's pronounced forecastle, whatever you want to say. Great. So let's get back to the updates. So as you guys know, we have a really cool main menu being built. It's something that me, Luke, and Derek are working on when we're not working on the log entries, because we can't only work on log entries because we can only do so much without models, and we're waiting on those. And we're all waiting on each other. And so when we have some free time, we are focusing on the main menu, which we want to do something really cool with the main menu. And you guys have seen it in previous streams. You can move around Harlan and Wolf in front of that building, and that's how you interact with the main menu. And in fact, I'll just show you this. This is like a shot from it, for example. This is what is the thumbnail for this stream. This is just, you can see the aerial gantry in the distance, and you can see that big green door there. That's from you've probably seen a pretty famous photo of Titanic's funnels or I think it's Titanic's funnels, might be Olympics, but some funnels are being taken out of that shed, and that door opens. And so that's what that is. And you can see some notice boards there. We are going to use those. We'll talk more how we are going to use those. But this is just an image from that level while it's raining. And but one thing that is super cool. So last you guys saw that main menu screen. you arrive on a train, just like in Demo 3. You pull up in like a full-blown passenger car, and you get out of the car and go and walk around. But as many people pointed out, and we knew this, but a passenger train would not be the thing on that track. That track was for trams. The Belfast had a tram system, and there's great photos of Harlan and Wolff workers leaving the shipyard and the tram going by. And so here you go. Look at that. This is what Derek just sent me this today. This is this model of the tram was made by one of our modelers, Tino. You may know him as he makes the 3D models for our hand painted ships that Zeno then paints. But Tino made this. It's amazing. He's been in contact with a museum that has one of these, or has images of this actual tram. And so he's been trying to recreate it, as is the THG way, with the utmost of accuracy, which is so cool. And obviously you can see it looks beautiful. And here's one more image, but from the interior here, just to give you an idea. So this is what you will arrive in for the main menu. I know this is not Titanic, but not everybody on our team is working on the ship. Some people specialize in other things, and this is something that Tino obviously specializes in, because look at that. It is beautiful. The only thing that I believe it's missing is it would have advertisements on that top like cream colored band underneath the railing. There would be some advertisements on there, which of course we will try and get some authentic advertisements. But as you can see, it is just gorgeous, just lovely. Well done to Tino. But that's just one of the many things that is being worked on at the moment to make that main menu just super immersive right off the bat. And now that leads us into something that a lot of you are here to see, which is, whoop, there we go. Knew that would happen eventually. But that leads us into what a lot of you are here to see, which is, oh yeah, there's definitely a bunch of train nerds in the Titanic community in general, and I am one of them. My father worked on the railroad. My grandfather worked on the railroad. We are obsessed with trains in this family. So that tram is way cooler than a lot of stuff. So yes, train nerds are everywhere. And I do think there's like a weird train Titanic link. I don't know, transportation. It's cool. So anyway, a lot of you are here to see what progress has been made on the forecastle deck. That is what we're working on. So damn it, what are you guys doing with the forecastle deck? So I'm so excited to show images of models that have now been textured and look beautiful. But first, let's show sort of the process of creating these the deck itself. Our technical and art director, Dominic Tetsik, he has been, when I said something earlier about people not sleeping, he has been pulling so many late nights, I'm sure a couple all-nighters, working on, pardon me if I'm a little distracted. I'm trying to find his, he sent me a bunch of stuff. Here we go. So he's been pulling so many late nights and all-nighters trying to get us these textured images and get us the decking itself. And just so much kudos to him for doing all that hard work. That's why, like on a day when Dominic has been up, like hasn't been sleeping and super stressed trying to get all this done. And it's incredible work that he's doing. And then on the same day, somebody says that we're, careless and stuff. It's just like, oh my God, it's so hard to watch, to read, because I know how hard everyone's working. But let me show you these. I'm going to have to read his descriptions of these so you know what you're looking at. So this here, we're going to go through the birthing of the decking here, step by step. So this is one half of the forecastle form. Um, I apologize if I'm speaking in technology terms that you don't understand, because I don't understand them either. But this is just the shape of the ship. And you just multiply, you flip it, and then you have both halves. This image here, this is the caption is mirroring the half, cutting in the boards and planking manually by hand. So he took that form and divided it up into all the different shapes. As you can see, it is a very complicated space. We are starting with one of the most complicated spaces on Titanic, hands down. I mean, if you think about, the dining saloon, for example, the texture of the flooring, it's just one big thing, Um, this is so complicated because Titanic's decking, while a majority of this is pitch pine, which is the darker color you see there, there's also teak, which would sort of be the border, the margins around all the objects, which is sort of the light gray. That's sort of where all the teak would be. And it's just so ungodly complicated. And he had to, with incredible amounts of research in mind. He has to get this perfect, because that's sort of our motive here, is just to get everything super accurate. So then this here is separating the teak elements. So this is all the teak stuff. The reason that the wood would be different in these parts of the deck is teak wood is a lot stronger and more resistant to water. And this is where a lot of that, like more water would pool up, and where it had to be a higher quality wood to be the margins around things. But to save money, they don't use teak on the entire thing. They just use it here. I hope I explained that correctly, because I might be wrong. Then here, this is separating the decking elements. I'm not sure what that means necessarily. This looks like this is all the teak specifically. Yeah, that's what that says to me. I'm not sure. Sorry, Dominic, maybe he can say something. Obviously, this is he has created the channels. This is the drains, essentially. This is the water. Titanic's decks have a camber to them, which means they are higher in the middle than they are on the ends. So that way water drains to the sides, and then the water is caught in these gutters and drained through little drains, scuppers, I believe they're called. Car going by. Then this here is separating the caulking, because these decks need to be watertight. There's a different material in between each plank that also needs to be represented in some way. Then you move on to giving each plank some thickness, because up to this point, it's just been a 2D plane, and now they are thicker. Now they have the actual thickness, and this is legitimately the thickness that these planks were. And you will know what that measurement is when you do when you click on the spatial entry, because it tells you how thick the planking is. Then this guy here, this is, what's up? This is the screws and the plugs. This is what keeps the decking down. Then skipping to this one, these are, I couldn't put all the images in. Sorry, Dominic, I had to skip a couple. This is, he has inserted the steel plating, and a lot of you may have enjoyed one of Dominic's streams where he spent a lot of time working on the steel plating underneath the decking for reasons that probably are pretty apparent by now. I know it was a mystery back then, but being that we are building Titanic in Harland and Wolff, you are going to see Titanic under no, that's okay, Matt. You will see Titanic under construction as we are building her. So you're not going to walk onto the forecastle deck and see the forecastle deck as she appeared on April 14th, like fully finished, beautiful, everything's painted and all that. And then walk to, go to the forward well deck and look up and see nothing. It's not like you're going to be on a floating forecastle deck with nothing else there. Titanic will appear under construction, and that's going to be represented in some way by not having all the decking in and seeing the steel plating underneath. And also, this is important because if you go under the forecastle deck and look up, you would also see steel plating, and you can see all the details that Dominic has put in, which is pretty cool. So now we move on to this image, which makes the least sense to me. Let me just read this. This is UV mapping. So UV mapping is the mapping of a 3D object onto a 2D texture. So the reason it's so complicated, I'm sorry, he really should explain this. He had to make sure that the teak side where no caulking exists is different from where it does exist, and the wood grain goes in different directions because just like in today shipbuilding and building in general, when you cut wood, you cut in a certain direction. So the textures of the wood has to look a certain direction. Otherwise, it's not going to look correct. You wouldn't see grain going across planks. You would see them going down planks. Then this here is the materials being added. So the texturing is getting farther along. And then that brings us to and there's so many other steps that I had to skip because I could only put so many images in here. There's a whole bunch of other things he had to do, but here are a few images of the decking finally finished. This is a shot. Obviously, there's nothing on the deck, and obviously ignore the things that are off on the side. You can see the textures are in big squares, and that's actually, I think that's an actual image back there just to give it some light. But in the foreground, you can see the teak wood, the pitch pine planks, the gutters there, the drains, and you can even see right there, if I'm remembering correctly, it's called a scupper. Am I right? Is that called a scupper? So, okay, so Derek says the numbers are just part of the reference texture. They have no meaning. Okay, cool. Again, not the person. I'm the creative director, not the technical director. So you can see that the rust color of the rusty color of that drain in the finished ship that would be painted black. But all of the steel, it's a scupper. Thank you, Matthew. All the steel used on Titanic would have this look to it, this like rusty, bare metal look. And we're trying to show that off as much as we can. As the ship is completed and you go, as we add more and more spaces, say in the future, the day that we add the grand staircase, you might go back onto the forecastle deck and see that these were painted black. And then a couple updates later, you'll see that, something else was painted. So some of the things you're about to see in these next few images are what the object would have looked like pre-paint and whatnot, which is really cool to see. Here's another image of the wood. Now you can see all those plugs. So Titanic, it's such a fascinating process. If you ever have a chance to read like the specifics of how Titanic was built, but these planks are all placed on the steel decking. There's these holes drilled into these planks. This bolt here, this guy, would go into those holes, and then they would have to be plugged to make them watertight. And so you can see all these individual plugs, which is awesome. And the detail is insane. Put this up against whatever forecastle deck texture we had in like Britannic, for example. The difference is staggering because the planks in there, that was like a big texture. These are actual models, and they're beautiful. You can see the grain on each individual plank is pretty spectacular. And then here is another detail. You can see it where the first cargo hatch is, and you can see that the steel on the bottom is not painted. It's that rusty steel look because these hatches would have been made out of the same steel plates that the sides of the ship would have been made out of. The one painted thing is, of course, the beautiful hatch cover on top. So that is sort of a crash course on the incredible work that Dominic has been doing over the last few weeks. Like, this is a long process I forgot where the camera was. This is a long process of putting the decking together. It is beautiful. We love it, and major kudos to Dominic for the incredible work that he did on that to give us that foundation. What's nice now is, moving forward, the decking won't take as long because the process has been done. Now it's just about laying it out in a new form and adding the models that he's already made. So, somebody pointed out, I think Derek pointed out, if you look at the China Titanic that's being built right now, is it still being built? The China Titanic is very rusty looking right now because that's still kind of how they do it. So, was it abandoned finally, says Alexandru? That's really sad if that's the case, because it was starting to look kind of cool. So let's get back to more images. I still have a lot more to show you guys. So we're going to move into the model portion. And this is the most exciting thing. Seeing these models that our dedicated volunteers have built with these textures. And this is another thing that Dominic has been working on. This is why when we decided to revamp the game, change our mission, so to speak, and focus on the history of the ship and not an elaborate story mode. And people said, why won't you just release what you have? Or why don't you guys have the forecastle deck from Britannic? It's basically the same. One, it's not basically the same. They're very different things. But also, as I've explained many times since then, the models, they're very much out of date. They don't work with dynamic lighting, stuff like that. So we had a lot of work to do on those in general. So even if we did use those, we would have to do quite a lot of work to update them to the proper standard that we are trying to get to. But when you see these images, you can see just the massive difference and what you should expect. Early on in the process, we talked about Dominic's gold standard, and I think this is the first time you get to see what his, what sort of visual level we're trying to focus on here. So this is the anchor crane in the front here. Again, it is not painted. This is how it will appear in the first update, unpainted. You can see all the different materials being used for it. You can see that the block that the ropes would go through has that wood sides to it, while the crane itself is made of steel. You can see all the individual pieces and parts. But the coolest thing about this image, I think, is seeing the bottom half that is actually under the forecastle deck, because this anchor crane obviously has to lift that reserve anchor in the center, which if you look at the log entry, you'll know how heavy that is. And if you look at the log entry for the anchor crane, you can see how heavy, what is the heaviest weight that this anchor crane can carry. So all little tidbits of information that is just so fun to learn about. So obviously underneath the forecastle deck, this anchor crane is stepped into the next deck, much like the masts are, to add a lot of support, because this anchor crane is not big enough to just carry a reserve anchor on its own. But you can see the intense level of support that is not even visible, that is under the deck, that you would see if you did go under the forecastle deck. Let's go to the next image of the same thing. Hello. This is a close-up of that, of the supports that go down into the next deck. Very cool. Next image. This is, of course, the skylight over the crew galley. Is that true? The crew mess, right? Somebody tell me. My mind is fried with all the different things that this could be over. It's over the mess. I'm gonna settle on mess. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's obviously very, very pretty. Why would it be shown without paint? So this is a question from somebody. Hopefully I'm not missing any super chats. I don't think I am. Yes, okay. Fireman's mess is what somebody says. Down under thunder. I said galley first. So Matt says galley, so we're gonna go with galley. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Sorry. I've done so many log entries over the last few months that it's just like it's hard to remember now what is under what. So, yes. So the reason it would appear unpainted for that one person who asked, as we've been describing, the ship will appear under construction, and so this is something that would have been made and put on the ship and then painted. And it looks incredible in this state. I think I have one more image of this guy. Yeah, here's another one. So you can see there's like some rust on it, and a thing that will probably come up for people is the thought that, well, if this is a brand new ship, why does it look so distressed already? Like, why is there rust collecting on a ship already? And the simple, as simple of an answer as I can make to that, is that the materials being used are not, pretty by any means. The steel used aboard Titanic, it's going to be rusty and weird, but also the ship is not brand new when you are on it necessarily. I mean, a lot of Titanic sat in Harlan and Wolff for years as it was being built. So not everything will just look like it came out of a factory seconds ago. So this is very, very cool to see what this might have looked like pre-paint. And then one day you'll load up into THG, check out the new update of the Galleon Pantry maybe, and you go explore the forecastle deck, and you'll see that this guy just got a brand new coat of paint. So we'll see him in all his glory. Very cool. So next image, this is this is not the reserve anchor in the center. This is, would this be called the stream anchor, the kedge anchor? This is the anchor that is on the starboard side, all the way aft on the forecastle deck. Beautiful, beautiful model, beautiful texturing. This is probably as it would appear, because this is, it's black, it's ready to go. Very, very cool though. I don't know if maybe right before sailing it would get like a fresh coat of paint or not. That's up to researchers to tell me and tell our team about. So I'm not sure if it would look brand new or not. And I believe it would have been deployed, like, tested out, maybe. I don't know. I'm not the person to ask. I do the creative stuff. Next image. This is awesome. This is one of the coolest objects on the forecastle deck. This is a cargo winch. These are the winches that sit under the foremast and would be used to haul cargo around the forward well deck. And I suppose the forecastle deck, if the derrick is put on the front of the mast, which it never was, because they would only do that in New York. But these guys are super big, super powerful winches with 4 drums. And I love that you can see on the texture, and this is just kudos to the texturing, that you can see that this steel, maybe they've tested these out, and you can see that it has a different colorization on the center of the drum, where the ropes would have. You can see it better on this image. You can see how it's a little bit lighter color in the middle, because they've tested out this winch a couple times, and some ropes have rubbed against it. Very, very cool. And these, of course, on the actual ship are painted green. Once they're installed and everything's looking great, they'll maybe give it a coat of paint. Let's jump to another winch. So this is a lifeboat winch up on, this is a cargo winch. I guess this is on the forward well deck. These would also appear on the boat deck as a lifeboat winch. But this one, being that we're working on the well deck, this is from the well deck. So this is also in conjunction with the previous cargo winch. This would also be used. And it's just a little bit smaller, a different kind. This is I believe, an electric winch, while this is a steam winch, as you can tell from all the pipes going in and out of it, while this guy's a little bit simpler. Doesn't lift as much, but still used for a similar purpose. And this one is, as you can see, it's painted green already. I believe we had a discussion about this on the Discord, about how that, yes, it is painted green, but maybe the week before sailing, get a fresh coat of green paint, because it's already starting to look a little bit worn out. Because if you've seen images of ships, man, they weather quick. especially something on the forward well deck. There is a lot of foot traffic, a lot of cargo, a lot of water. It's a very heavy area to be. This next image, super cool. This is a close-up of a capstan. You've seen these all over Titanic's deck. If you've ever seen a picture of Titanic, I love this because you can see the care that was put into this model. A previous capstan on on Britannic, for example, I don't know what sort of detail was put into it. I don't remember seeing it. Maybe I'm wrong, but you can see they kind of look like ribs. You can see the just the shape. It's not perfectly round. They have it's just spectacular. The whoever modeled this put crazy amount of work into it. In fact, I remember we were discussing in our Discord, our team Discord. It's kind of unknown. Somebody in the chat can correct me. Maybe we discovered a document that actually had this number. But the amount of, we'll call them ribs that go around. I mean, you can see in this shot, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe there's 7, 8, 9. Maybe there's 10 total going around. We were looking at photos, trying to decipher how many should there be. It's not something specified. It's just, the manufacturer would just make this decision. And so we came to this decision amongst all the researchers, and you can see that the discoloration of where the ropes would be is pretty cool. Here's another shot of the same object, but from the top. You can see the Napier brothers name in there. This is cool because Dominic finished this yesterday and he sent us a picture, and Kyle, being the nitpicky guy that he is, and that's why we love having him, because if we are nothing if not nitpicky about history. Dominic sent us an image and Kyle said, well, it looks great, but technically the top would have like a more of a, not a spiral, but you can see that there's rings, like almost looks like a tree trunk. It didn't have that. It was more of like a flat texture. And Kyle's like, look, if we're being specific here, this should have a spun look to it, like a tree trunk. And you can see it really good in that picture. And so 10 minutes go by, and Dominic sends another image and says, boom, there, leave me alone. He's just been working so hard on this stuff, and it looks amazing, as you can tell. All right, next image. This is a bollard or a bit, depending on what you want to call it. And you can see plenty of detail here. You can see the discoloration on sort of like the midway point of those being, whatever you want to call them, cylinders or posts, where like the ropes would have been wearing away. This is already in its like final color, that black color. Same with this, that black color, unless it's green. Is it green? Trivia question. Now I'm going to jump to my favorite thing. Let me show me for a second. Hi, everybody. It's me. I hope you're enjoying this so far. Let me check the chat. Let me jump in. Derpy says Domi is awesome, which is very true. Tooling marks from machinery is what Derek says. I assume that is that tree trunk thing I was describing, because when you make something like that, it's great. So let me just see. I like seeing all the positivity. This is great. Everybody's saying, oh yeah, Domi's here, everybody. So say thank you in the thing. Great. I'm seeing lots of people love it. That's so great. That's so great to see. All right. Okay. And all of these will have log entries to them if people care about the information. I know it's like all the visuals right now, but when you go up to these objects, you'll be able to see what they're made of. What is that shiny top on the capstan? What is that made of? Where was it? How is it powered? A big reason that this log entry thing started was because one day I learned that the capstan spun. I thought they were just like essentially bollards that they just sat there and you threw a rope around it. And that's how Titanic stayed in dock. I had no idea that they had a steam engine underneath that spun them. Super dumb to not know that. But that's the thing, and that's what you can learn. So we got a new super chat $10. Thank you, Shane. Really cool to see elements of the ship in this unfinished state. Later in the alpha, will we be able to explore the ship in its unfinished state again, or it will be lost as the ship is finished? That's a great question, Shane. It is cool to see this in an unfinished state. It would be a shame to never see it again. So sure, I feel like we should keep that in mind. I don't know what we can do with it. If you can, choose a portion or choose like an under construction version to explore just to see things. Because I always enjoyed in Demo 3 exploring the ship and seeing, furniture laying around. And we have a lot of cool things planned in regards to that, like, things that are out of place. Where will the cargo hatch be on the first release? Will it be in its spot? Will it be nearby? That sort of thing. So we're really excited to do that. Let's see if you want to. Okay, and let's throw this on screen. Boom. Patreon, guys. Let's have a commercial for Patreon. This Patreon is how we get to do all this. And if you're a patron, thank you so much for supporting the project. If you are a backer from a previous fundraising campaign and you're watching, thank you so much for everything you did. You do not need to feel the need to give us more money. Of course, you did your part. But Patreon is just a great way for us to have a budget so we can continue making great stuff like this. Yes. So join us, please. Hopefully one day when our Patreon is big enough, we can start having employees again and we can start making this stuff quicker and quicker and quicker. Because trust me, a lot of the people on this team are working as if they are paid. They're working like full-time hours, even though, gosh, they're just amazing people. All right, let's get back to the images. Only a couple more. Oh, how many more? Oh, I'm so sad. I love showing you guys these. Oh, I think I only have one more object to show. And then we have a video. I'm going to show you guys a video that Derek made that's super cool. And it's a different category. Oh, I'll show you this real quick. This is like some set dressing stuff. This is like a dolly. I don't know what people call it in different countries. Dolly, lorry, I don't know. But it's a little wheelbarrow type dude. For carrying stuff. So this is the kind of thing that will be around the ship. And we have so many cool things being made by volunteers to make Harlan and Wolf come to life. Things that you may have seen in photos of Titanic under construction or Olympic under construction that will really sort of tell the whole story here. So I only have one more really cool image to show, or sorry, two images of one object. And this is my favorite thing that I've seen so far from the modelers and all the texturing and stuff, because as a Titanic model builder, in not a video game sense, but a model kit sense, I've always been into this object, and it's just really cool to see it unpainted and to see all the different literal textures of this. You really get an appreciation for how complicated this item is, and that is what is, I guess, technically called a ladder. It's the staircase to those, to a normal audience. This is a staircase, but I believe on ships they refer to as ladders. So then what is the ladder referred to as? Somebody answer that question. If that is a ladder, what is the thing underneath the ladder? Is that a ladder? So anyway, you can just see how much effort was put into this model in particular. You have, these were made of teak. The sides are made of teak, while the handles are made of steel of some sort. And it does have a ladder, what I would refer to as a ladder underneath it, because it may make no sense, but it's because the teak portion, the large staircase, is removable on the forward well decks, because they kind of just would get in the way in terms of like cargo handling. So you could take those staircases away, and the crew could get up and down still using the ladder behind it. Here's one last close-up of this, and you can see just how many different textures are being used, both by Harlan Wolf and by us. You can see that the stairs themselves are made of teak. They're made of that dark wood. It looks like the post on the bottom half is made of a steel of some sort, and the what do you want to call it? The railing, the horizontal railing, diagonal railing, I guess, is made of a whole different type. And then it looks like the part you actually grab onto, it has like a spun texture around it, like for gripping purposes. It's just fascinating. I absolutely love it. And you can even see that the railings themselves are removable, because you can see a little circle in the top left of the a little ring that you could loosen and then pull those out and make it just a staircase for whatever reason you might need to do that. Absolutely fascinating. These objects are amazing. I love them, and they are being made so beautifully by everybody on this team. So with that in mind, we come to sort of the end of our stream. We've been streaming here for about an hour and a half. Pretty good. A little reminder to patrons who are on Discord. I'm going to jump over to Discord and do a little private stream and just talk to you guys about something that I have been talking about in the Discord discussion there under patron streams, which I think might be the thing that was beeping. No, it wasn't. So join us over there. Join me over there. We're just going to talk about one topic, and then maybe I can answer some questions for you guys. We're about to answer questions here in this stream. I'm going to just answer a couple because I do have that other stream to do. And then I have to sadly get ready to start a new job tomorrow. Join our Patreon so we all can focus on this game again. So while these models are being made and the texturing is being done, and we just got all these images in the last few days from Dominic, because he's been getting them done because he wanted to have them on the stream, and I wanted to have them on the stream so you guys could see them. The progress is obviously gorgeous. So when people asked us, why would you guys not just give us mega demo, just like give that to us? This is why, because this is what the visual component of the game will be. It looks gorgeous. It's going to look incredible, and all the other reasons, because those mega demo models were not as pristine as one would think. So in terms of like lighting and whatnot, they're beautiful. Obviously, the work that has been a part of THG since the beginning has always been spectacular, which is why you guys are all here, because the work that has been done in the past has been amazing, and we're only trying to bump it up a notch and make things more optimized, make things better for you guys, so you don't have to have a NASA supercomputer to run this game. I did see somebody ask a question about optimization. We are going to, there it is. I was worried, Monskar. Monskar always sends a super chat. Thank you, Monskar. Always. And it's never with a message either. It's always just, here you go. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Monskar. To clarify, Alpha is still coming out this year. That is still the plan. The plan is still Q4. So here we go. But do you have a release date for the Alpha? So yeah, again, we're going to do, we're still aiming for Q4. And in fact, that is a big topic for the patron only stream that I'm going to do after this. We're going to talk a little bit about that, because that's what we've been talking about in those discussions. So start thinking about questions you want to ask. Don't put them in just yet. We're going to show one last video, and we're going to answer some questions, and then I'm going to run, and we're going to go over to the patron stream. So what do we think of Lego Titanic? It looks amazing. I want one, but I already spent way too much money on the trumpeter model and way too much of my life on the trumpeter model. How do we join the Discord? We have somebody on the team put it in the thing so I can put it on the screen. We have a link. I'll put it on the screen during the questions. So while Dominic's been working incredibly hard, and all our volunteers making models have been doing incredible work, and the galley in the pantry is under construction, and the forecastle is under construction, and the forward well deck's under construction, and I'm writing log entries, and James Grimm is recording voiceover, and Taylor Parish is making log entry art, and our researchers are doing research. There's so much going on. Derek is working on the lighting, the day-night cycle, and here we go. Boom. I'll just leave this on the screen. Derek, who posted that comment, is working on the day-night cycle, the lighting, and something that is a hot topic with everybody, which is the water systems and whatnot. Because water is super damn hard, as you guys all know, as you should know. Water takes up a lot of computer power. It's hard to make it look good. I mean, even look at like a Rockstar game. It's one thing I always have gripes with like you play some of the most beautiful games ever, and the water is no good. So this is a video I will play for you here to show off what Derek has been working on. And I think I'll be muted during it. So here we go. Enjoy. How cool was that? I hope everybody got to see that. Let me see. Okay, good. It looks perfect. It might have been a little bit, it obviously wasn't going to be as crystal clear as it looks, even when I was watching it just now. Streaming is difficult. So Derek made that. It's in like 4K. He sent it to me, and I'm trying to show it to you online. So of course it's going to come out like a little bit fuzzy and weird, but hopefully it looked nice. So that is just an example of something that's been going on in conjunction with all the other things. As you can see, the water looked really nice. The day-night looks really nice. And again, if we kept the models from Demo 3 and just gave you what we had, none of that would be possible. Everything that you just saw would not be possible at all. It would just be Demo 3 again. And that's what you would be playing right now. And you'd be bored of it by this point, I'm sure. So yes, we will. I think if Derek's okay with it, we'll probably post that on YouTube in 4K or whatever, so you guys can see it in all its glory, because it is really pretty. And Derek did a fantastic job with that. And I hope my Wi-Fi has been okay, or not my Wi-Fi, my internet. This is my first time doing this in New York, so hopefully that worked out. So now you have seen so many. We covered so much in this stream, you guys. We give you the update on the team, how we're kind of, going back to volunteer status, but we're not going to let that stop us from getting things out on time. Everyone's working super hard. We have new team members. We've got Michael Brady's posters on the store. The folks on the well deck are coming along. Let me just read this because I know I was supposed to say one other thing. And of course, everybody, if you can't tell, sorry if my mic is popping, I had to move slightly. If you can't tell, these are models that could now be reused in other places. So like the aft well deck and the poop deck will be super easy to make, because a lot of these models that you saw, like the ladders, the winches, those appear in other places. And the decking, of course. We showed you guys the tram, which looks awesome. Derek is working magic with the weather and lighting systems. I literally wrote that down. The water system, the water will always be, we're going to see how this works moving forward. Everything is a work in progress. Of course, voiceover is being recorded. 2D art is coming. Galleon pantry is under construction elsewhere. And that's it. So I'll answer some questions if you guys have some questions, just a couple, and then I got to go. Here's the first question. Are we planning VR compatibility? Of course. It probably won't be in the very first release, of course. But as we go, of course, VR compatibility. VR is a big part of this process, this project. We definitely want that to be a thing. Let's see. It's so funny. What do we think of the Lego Titanic? We love it. It looks great. Will we be at Pigeon Forge next year? I mean, we'll see how those things work. The conferences this year was obviously impossible to get to COVID wise, and next year we may be doing. We're trying so hard to focus on this game, you guys. There's so much that people ask us to do. Can you write? Like I get asked to write articles for things about the game, giving updates. Matt was just interviewed by somebody yesterday. There's so much going on, and we're trying so hard to say no when we can, and it's important for everybody. Learn how to say no to stuff that you like when you need to focus on your life, and we need to focus on not only our lives but this game. So we're not hanging out at conferences, having a good time, and not working on it. Will you get to see the a la carte restaurant eventually? We'll get there. Not initially. It won't be out in this year, but we're working on it. Just a couple more questions, and then we'll get out of here. Yes, I've never been to Pigeon Forge either, sadly. Here's a good question. Will the game have some kind of HUD? And if it does, will it have some kind of off option? In my dream, everything that we ever put in this game will have an off option, including log entries and all the features that we are designing. I want you guys to be able to turn it all off and just walk around Titanic, especially in VR, and just immerse yourself. So the HUD will be log entry related. I think you walk into a new space and it will appear in the bottom corner, that sort of thing, which I think will all be turn offable. So yes, you will be able to just fully immerse yourself. Derpy Possum wants to know who interviewed Matt. A documentary crew, Matt says. So yeah, Matt was. Will there be what? Holographic support. I don't even know what that is, honestly. It has a winky face though, so I assume they're joking. All right, how about 2 more questions and then I'm out. On the night of the sinking, will lights in rooms that were be switched off? So yes, I mean any lights that a human being could be able to turn off will be able to be turned off. Some public spaces though don't have light switches. They would have been located in these little breaker boxes. So assumably, yes, that's something that I think is a fun thing. But little side note, if we just released Demo 3, like a lot of people wanted us to do 6 months ago, that would be impossible. No light switching at all. It would just be lights would be on all the time, and it would always be daytime. We wouldn't even be able to do anything at night. So that would have been awful. Last question. Here's a good question. Will you, the player, be able to remove ladders in the well deck? That's something I would love to see. But there is the issue of one human being would not be able. I would imagine they would have lifted it with an anchor or with a crane. I don't know. But that's a good question. We definitely should consider that, being able to see what it looks like with and without it. So, okay, guys, this was fun. I hope you enjoyed everything. Please join our Discord, especially if your only access to news from us is through the guarantee group and Facebook. Facebook is not a great way for us to give you guys information. Join us on Discord, join our Patreon, and support the project. It'll help us make this game better and faster. And we just can get you so much better information on Patreon and Discord. So join us. And if you are on Patreon, and you are in the Discord on Patreon, jump over there. Give me 5 minutes, 10 minutes break, and then we'll start the stream over there. We'll keep it short, answer some of your Patreon only questions, and talk a little bit about the game. And Great. This was fun. Join us on Discord. This was fun. It's nice to be back a little bit. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Let's go out with this video one more time. All right. Bye.